What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another fine Sunday, another blessed Sunday. What's going on? It's your boy, Repeat.
Yo, it's hot today, bro.
It is hot today, bro. It's been hot, and I don't like that.
Facts.
I hate it. Treat our planet better, honestly.
Exactly. But
we're going to open with that.
For sure. But, in a couple days it's supposed to cool up, but it is what it is, man. But, yo, you know what we say around here.
Yeah, you already know. Don't say this. Say that.
Yo, who we got in the building today, bro?
This is a long time coming, this one. This dude's been showing love since day one, A1, I gotta appreciate it. This dude's a legend in the making. Actually, a legend currently, I'd say, if you ask me. Hero, the motherfucking Emcee in the building. What's going on?
Thank you. Very, very, very blessed to be here.
Absolutely, bro. How are we?
Life is great. I say this a lot, but like every day is truly worth living. You wake up, just make the most of it.
They fucking meant to that, bro.
Yeah, I fucking love that.
It's a very great day to be alive.
Yes, sir. Who you got next to you here?
This is one of our Bars Over Bars team members. He goes by Cam. He's the fucking man. He's a little prodigy.
Cam the man jam. Don't give a damn.
He makes beats. He is an aspiring rapper as well, but
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Absolutely.
I mean, I was 16 and I wasn't there yet.
Hey, bro, research and development. Research and development.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So, out of all of our guests, you've kind of done something that is very, very unique for creatives and artists in the scene of Boston and New England itself. You be going to everywhere, shows over shows, bars over bars. So where did that idea to just like, you know what? We're going to start throwing free shows for artists. We're going to start helping everybody. Where did that come from, bro?
So I just kind of like, in the last half of 2019, I was a part of 60 events, which is a lot. Which is a lot of shows.
Absolutely.
That's about, on average, that's like 10 shows a month. Mm-hmm. I know people that
work.
I know people that like don't even perform once a year. But I saw the opportunity to network. I'd go to shows I wasn't even rapping to, hand out cards, shit like that. It's just showing face is very important, especially in today's day and age where if you don't post something in a day, you're gone.
1,000%.
Correct.
It's
right.
and I was a part of a lot of shows, and a lot of them are good and a lot of them are bad. And I took the best of what I saw and I tried to make a company out of that. And that's just kind of how this shit started. But it's kind of also a big fuck you to New England Mixtapes, who kind of like thinks they invented hip hop because I started throwing shows and then they saw that as a threat. And because I booked one other person that they booked, they claimed that like I stole their artists and shit like that. Really? It's a bunch of weird shit. Yeah. But I just, from then and there, I kind of knew that I don't own anything in hip hop.
Right.
I'm a student of the game like all of us are, and I just want to put on the most amount of people, show the most love, create the best experiences, and I could talk about this shit all day.
Well from being at a show, we definitly have felt that. And that's just our first show we've been to. And, as you said, it's almost been a year in the making, this interview. So just, we're watching you grow and everything. It's just been really good to see. Excuse me. Because not only are these shows, free for the artists and stuff like that, but also very accessible. So talk about like how accessible they are. Because like someone may say, oh, you throwing it in like Surefire Creatives. That was a small room, but that's still, that's a venue. So talk about how you kind of make something out of nothing with venues that you've thrown these shows at.
Yeah. Without COVID, this shit never would have happened.
Which is interesting because you would think with COVID, no shows.
Yeah.
So how did that? Yeah. So how does that apply? How did you make without COVID nothing happen? Because you would think with COVID, nothing would happen.
Every promoter in this region is fighting over the music venues we have. Midway Cafe, The Jungle, the Middle East specifically. Everybody wants these venues, and they can only have like one show a night. Mm-hmm. But when the venues are all closed, what do? You go to these small independent stores. The first show we ever threw a show at was at a sneaker store in Haverhill.
Wow.
And we've had 11 shows there since then.
What's the name of that show?
It's called Crispy Clean Kicks.
Shout out them.
Shout out Marcus from Crispy Clean Kicks.
Haverhill, nice.
We consider that to be like the mecca of bars over bars. That's like
home base.
That's the first place we ever really we set up shop. And since then, I mean, we've had shows at barbershops, at boxing gyms, at comic book stores, at really pretty much anywhere that'll let us have a show. It's what we do is we create small, intimate experiences for artists where 30 people feel like 1,000. Right. And the problem with venues specifically, like playing in the Middle East downstairs is cool. You get
Right.
500 people down there, it's cool. But like maybe half of them don't even give a shit about you because they're just at the bar partying or whatever. If you're in a sneaker store when the sneaker store's closed for a hip hop show and you paid to be there, like you want to be there.
Right.
Yeah.
That's like
And-
exclusive shit.
So the 30 people that paid to be in the sneaker store, like care about you.
Yeah.
And like sometimes that's more valuable than the 500 people in the Middle East.
Absolutely. That's
It's-
a great way of putting it,
You
man.
know,
That's
and to
great.
add on to what Pete said, man, I gotta commend you for your work, man. Like seriously, it can't be overlooked. To me personally, it was like an amazing experience going to that show. Shout out Jeff Porter and David Ryan. We went to go see them, and all the artists that were on
We're
the
having
list.
them out next month too.
We got
yeah.
it.
We're there too.
In Somerville, right?
Somerville, yeah.
Somerville, we over there, man. But seriously, man, it was just amazing to see you at work, seeing you be the doorman of the event, the welcome person, being the hype man, the photographer, the hype man of the crowd, and also, you know what I mean, making sure that everything with the DJ was going on. So it was truly amazing to see all that.
Yeah, depending on the situation, I do wear a lot of hats. I do have a fantastic team who are here. My beautiful wife helps out so much. She was DJ Mad Dog of that event.
Hey, shout out DJ Mad Dog.
She came with a killer playlist. No, but running sound's not difficult, but it's definitely something that does need a skilled person to manage it, and I'm thankful that I have the wife that I do, the future wife that I do to help out with that. But we got a great team, and it's important that when you go to events that you have a photographer and you have a videographer, and I constantly see promoters who are charging artists to perform and not supplying them with anything worth that money. Like
Right.
I've paid upwards of $500 to perform, and yeah, it comes with tickets. And sometimes it's a situation where you break even, and sometimes it's not. But I've never played at a show where I've paid to perform, and they've supplied a photographer and a videographer.
They just said go out there?
They just said go out there. If you want a photographer, you got to hire your own. So that's $500 I got to pay to perform. That's $100 to $200 I got to get from my own photographer.
And you're basically in the red at that point. 'Cause
Yeah,
now
and
it's
at that
coming
point,
out of your pocket.
and at that point, it's like, why don't I just throw my own shows?
Right? No,
Yeah.
absolutely.
No, and the dope thing too is that I saw you hyping up the crowd. You knew the people's songs.
Because I'm an MC.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what I was gonna say. I saw where the MC part comes in. You definitely had the crowd engaged, and not only that, but like thinking of it in the perspective of the artist. You know, they feel like, yo, this guy really rocks with me. You know what I mean? So that's super dope what you're doing, man. For real.
Getting the crowd hype is very important. And when you're a performer and you're not really 100% comfortable performing, because not a lot of people have performed as much as I have, it's very important to have a good crowd and to have a good team around you that can hype up the crowd too. And I've been learning a lot. And knowing the artist's songs is very important. Like we book based on talent and attitude, and I need to make sure that like whoever I book is
in compliance with what you're doing.
Is gonna not only be a dope artist, love what we're doing, but also represent the brand properly. Because as soon as I put someone on that's whack, my reputation's gone.
Right. You got to really like make sure you have a talented guy, and that's actually what I wanted to tell you. Firstly, you know, you're obviously comfortable at this point with almost 50 plus shows going up on 60 probably by the end of next month.
Oh, we just hit 56 yesterday.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and we got 10.
Yeah.
We got 10 more. This
So
month.
100 by probably next summer, the way it's going. You know what I'm saying?
150 by next July.
Wow,
that's the goal.
That's a crazy projection, and obviously it's
we're doing 15 a month.
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
amazing.
I'd say they
bro.
make that. So, but for you yourself, at which show were you officially comfortable with everything that you were doing?
It's weird that you say that, because I feel like every time I play a show, I hit a new like level of comfortability. I mean, we've never thrown a bad show. And we've had some shows that are better than others, but I've never left the show being like, that shit was whack.
Right.
Yeah.
Once I started to throw my own shows, and it might be a little biased, I fully got comfortable in the ability of being an MC, of being a hip-hop artist, of being a performer. It's having this company I have has really given me the creative space I need to flourish as an artist.
Right. And on top of that, how do you find like the artists? Like, do does your team go out and just look, word of mouth connections? How do you find those talented artists that you put on the playlist that you also have as well, and the shows themselves?
Yeah, I message a lot of people. That's how we're booking 15 shows a month. I just know a lot of people, and every time we play a show, we book at least 6 artists. So that's 6 artists who may be like, yo, I got this friend, like, you want to check him out? And then I got artists who come to the show that want to meet us. And then it's just a snowball effect of more and more connections. And when I played a lot of shows that weren't mine before I started throwing my own, I did get to meet a lot of cool people. I got to meet a lot of stupid people as well. But
it's part of the journey.
It's part of the journey. I also just, like, with the pay-to-play shows, I also just met a lot of people that weren't talented, that just paid to be there, and you could tell that the shows weren't coherent enough, and I wanted to create these small bite-sized experiences for the artists where most of the time people stay the whole time because they're not super long. When you have a 6-hour show with 20 acts,
it's hard.
It's difficult. It's difficult.
And I feel like it's more memorable if it's like more small and compact.
Oh, hell yeah!
Because you're kind of part of like almost an inner circle. You know what I mean? So it makes the experience even better. So on top of that, the pay-to-play. You're no pay to play.
No pay to play.
And that is a revolutionary thing. So why no pay to play?
It just makes sense. I mean, I try to have a meeting with the artists before we perform, like right outside the venue, and I'm like, yo, I just wanna thank everybody for coming, because this shit literally is not possible without the artists.
Word.
This is one of the few industries where, like, if the artist doesn't exist, there's nothing. There's no label.
Right.
There's no producer. There's no DJ.
Absolutely.
There's nothing. There's no shows. Without the rapper, there's nothing. And at the end of the day, it's a team effort to make everything happen.
100%.
But without the artist foundation, if the artist isn't treated well, there's nothing.
1,000%. And I wanted to ask you, so I remember, like, before we started the interview, you said something along, the influencer, the number of followers the artist has really doesn't impact the decision.
Not at all.
So what is the criteria that you follow or look for in an artist before you invite them on your show?
I book based on talent, and I book based on attitude. For starters, if you play a show of mine and you just leave without saying goodbye, I'll never book you again. That simple. And it's just
a principle.
It's
the principle,
it's just
exactly.
a respect thing.
Right.
And it's if your posse wants to pull up and leave after, like, that's their prerogative. I don't care. But if you don't say goodbye to us, like, we're not friends anymore.
Yeah, it's tough.
If you cancel on us before a show, it's whatever. We're still friends. Just let me know. If you don't show up to a show, never book you again. I don't care.
I feel like that's terrible.
I don't care what the excuse is. I don't care if your dick fell off. Like, we're not cool right now.
Yeah.
And these things, these examples and prerogatives and shit needs to be put in place in order for us to be respected and to just let everyone know that, like, we don't fuck around. Even though we're free for the artist, we're not exclusive, but we value the right kind of artist more than others. Like, for instance, this morning I got a message request that said, "Yo, what with shows?" Like, what? Like, I'm not gonna respond to that.
Even with like this, like over the year of doing like podcasts, like, oh yeah, let's connect. It's like, and some dude just DM'd us. What was it? He was like, yo, not even just out of context. He was like, yo, he said, yo, tap me in. He just was like, yo, tap me in. I'm like, what? Tap me in with what, bro? Like, but obviously that is probably one of the most respectable things I admire, about yourself. And this is the time to give him, your flowers and stuff like that, because
1,000%.
You are changing the game, bro. And I hope people do end up realizing that. So that was you, or that was Bars. This is still Bars Over Bars, and this is your baby. You started this. How is it seeing your, creation grow to where it is and where it will become?
Oh, it's growing every day. I mean, the goal right now is to build a foundation for New England artists to succeed in New England. Unfortunately, there's a lot of self-sabotage that happens in New England. People think they're bigger than others, and they kind of just, like, never get bigger than Boston because they're always fucking with each other. But, like, I realize that I'm not going to be the greatest rapper alive, but I want to help other people try to get there. And New England is not represented properly when people blow up, leave, and never mention it. There's no Hot 97 here. There's no big labels here. There's no big radio station, no huge podcast besides Say That.
Oh,
But there's no foundation for New England artists to succeed in New England.
Like you feel like we have to build more
We
than
have
other
to build
locations.
more together.
Right.
We have to build together. Boston is not big enough to build itself separately. We need all of New England to come together and build itself.
You know what, Hero? And I agree with you 100%. I think that we have all the pieces that we need to actually make things work here.
There's so much dope shit going on separately. We just need to come together.
Exactly. But the thing is, like, I honestly think that is just the culture of hip hop. The culture of hip hop is very. I said very. Very comparative. Very comparative. So, you know what I mean? People are trying to compete. I'm the best out here, but you know, I think that what you're doing is obviously bringing people together, putting people in the same room. So I see us in the long run, or maybe even in the short run, taking strides towards that, to that unification. But you know, something else that you're doing for the culture is another show that you run on the side, Check the Recipe.
Yeah.
Which is dope, bro. Which is super dope because I feel like that showed me a side of you where I'm like, this guy's a purist at heart. Like a hip hop, one of those hip hop purists, and I can kind of relate to that because I want something with some substance in it. So, what's the goal of that show?
So, I'll just talk about the live streams as a whole. Not only do we live stream all of our live in-person events to Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube all at once, but we also live stream mostly 7 days a week with podcasts, with submission-based streams. I run something called Check the Recipe, which is something I try to do every Friday, but we throw so many shows, I never really get to it anymore.
That's fair.
But
Busy man.
But it kind of started as, what if we did genius lyrical breakdowns, but they didn't suck? Like does Moo by Doja Cat really need to be lyrically broken down? No.
Right.
And it's about finding the local songs and creating a genius lyrical breakdown, but in a podcast format. And it's all live stream because it's less shit I got to do. Like the idea of editing video for me is like I'm completely allergic to it. I get real sick. I don't want to edit any videos. So
you got work to do, you know.
So when the live stream's done, it goes up to YouTube, and I'm gonna worry about it.
Right.
And
Take it for what it is.
the live streams are dope because there's not a lot of work to do after. It's all in the moment. It promos itself while it's out. And I just feel like I didn't have time to film a podcast, edit a podcast, promote a podcast, just
while doing bars over bars as well.
When it's live, it's live. And then after that, if you want to watch it, it's always on the internet.
Right. Yeah.
And as like when your show live stream ends, do you put that on there as well?
It just goes right up.
Right.
Yeah. And the in-person live streams vary on quality depending on like the Wi-Fi and shit, but most of the time they're pretty good. It's all direct audio, so whatever's coming out of the speakers at the venue is what's going to come out of your speakers at home or on your phone. So it's super good quality.
Now, you obviously perform at your own shows, but is it more of like, you know, you kind of, I want to perform at this venue, or, you know, maybe you had an artist skip out and it's like, I'll step in?
Both of those. I try to perform at a venue for the first time, especially if the venue owner hasn't seen me perform. I think that's important.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, it seems like every other show an artist drops out, so I try to give opportunities to other people if I can, but if I can't, I'll rock a set, which is always dope. It's also hard to find people because I try to create these experiences where all artists and all fans of a single artist are going to also be fans of someone else. So I have to book a coherent show. So I can't just throw anybody on any show because it doesn't work like that. I got people who hit me up every week and they're like, yo, when can I get on a show? And I'm like, I'll let you know when I have something that's going to benefit you.
Right.
Because I can't.
That's a great way of putting it.
I can't book you on a rock show if you're a trap artist. Yeah. You know, it's just I'm doing you a favor by letting you wait.
Absolutely.
And that's the good thing about you saying that, because like that's kind of acknowledging all the subgenres that are within hip hop. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because like stylistically, there's such a different wide range, and it won't make any sense to book Joyner Lucas with Lil Uzi Vert because it's just the crowds are not gonna be the same. While Lil Uzi Vert is on, the Lil Uzi crowd is gonna go crazy. When Joyner comes on, everybody's, but Joyner's crowd is gonna still be on. Yeah. So that's super dope, man. But talking about yourself as an artist as well, shout out to you and your latest album. I'm not going to try to say the name, but 9 tracks.
Yeah. It's polyvinyl chloride.
Exactly.
Yes.
There you
go. We'll put that as caption. And you said that, one of the goals you want to do there is to showcase the power of YouTube beats. Also, there's like a big stigma with like YouTube beats. I feel like people are scared to use them. So how did you navigate around that? Did you get any backlash for using YouTube beats? What's the proper way to go about
YouTube beats is like being a SoundCloud rapper. It's you don't get the recognition you get, but there's sometimes there's a lot of dope shit on it. And I was just looking up DJ Premier type beats on YouTube, and I found this one dude named Wax 100. He's overseas. He's a really cool dude. Some of the best boom bap beats I've ever heard, and it was I heard one and I'm like, I need them all right now, like all of them right now. And I've been working on it for a while, and I'm glad that we finally got it out. But yeah, working with YouTube beats it just allows you to meet more people, because now I got people overseas.
I was just about to ask you how the overseas
and the overseas stuff,
that's real love.
That's like the old school hip hop community overseas is so dope.
Yeah,
like Edo G. You guys know Edo G?
I've heard of him.
Yeah, he's a local legend, super killer dude. He gets more love touring on overseas than he does in New England, and it's just like it's
surreal. Yeah, you know, one of our former guests, Bugsy. Bugsy H.
Bugsy H?
Yeah, that's the homie.
I was in one of his videos.
Yeah. Oh, word.
He's a cool dude.
That's the homie, bro.
South End legend.
Yeah, I kind of grew up. He was like one of the older dudes from the neighborhood. But yeah, he said the same thing. Like most of the love he gets is like from overseas, because places in Europe, they still fuck with that, you know, authentic, raw, chainsaw, almost like hip hop. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So super dope that you're sharing that same perspective. Right. Yo, Cam, so you make beats, bro.
I do.
Do you got any beats on YouTube? Where do people find you, man?
I have some stuff on YouTube. I've just been lacking the motivation to actually get done different like cover arts for them. Because then you take the cover art, then you have to make it a still image video and make the beat as a background music for it.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of work.
And then even without that last step, I still have to like create the artwork for it. Then it has to go to SoundCloud, or I'm trying to use this free distribution right now called Song Trader.
Okay.
Where I can just get up on everything just from one place, but
you putting together like a beat tape or something?
Yeah,
Word.
In a sort. But at shows I DJ as well, I would try to play my beats and stuff. Like we had an artist last night.
Oh, people really fuck with Cam's beats. He's got like really cool new school stuff.
I'm trying to make some old school stuff. Like I have that one that I showed you.
It's a crap. It can take time to get the old school stuff. Just make sure whatever you make is like still you.
Exactly.
And if people don't fuck with it, that's fine.
That's on them.
But just like that's.
I think the importance is being authentic. Being authentic to you. What you say?
I said it's a great. No, I said it's a great way of putting it.
Yeah, for sure. So you guys told us this story briefly, but I think it's a story worth telling. Because it shows more about your character as well. Tell the story about how you guys met and how you were recruited to Bars Over Bars, man.
Yeah, so I got this kid who's basically like my number one fan.
Yep.
And he kind of knows all my shit, and started coming to my shows before I even started throwing my own, and it just kind of made sense to put him on the team because he's very passionate about my music and what I do, and he's a really dope kid, and he's still young, and we still got a lot to learn, but we're in the process of making him probably one of the best DJs, producers in New England. I mean, it's a process, definitely.
No, for sure.
Always is,
sure.
yeah. Marathon, not a sprint.
No, but that even, widens what you said earlier, your point where, like, it's all about personality and talent over the other fucking bullshit that social media likes. You know what I mean? Yeah. So what's the main difference for you? Like, or do you have a preference between, like, making beats and DJing shows? What are you more comfortable with?
Honestly, I'm comfortable enough with either because when I DJ, I'm still making music out of it. Like, we do like performing with no backing vocals. So, if an artist doesn't have any and they give me the liberty to, when you DJ, you can throw like filters on there that, it'll only play more of the higher frequencies, the lower frequencies.
Got it.
And some artists will let me, like mess around with that during their set. Or we had a guy yesterday at Yes Brewing, Joey the composer. He let me scratch throughout his entire set, and I did.
That's a dope feeling.
I know
but
DJs that just press play and go to the bathroom. Like Cam is a 16-year-old who actually like
he's involved,
engages in sets.
Stays on set. Absolutely.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with like different types of performancing, but you basically perform it raw, authentic with no vocals in the background, or some people keep all their vocals in and just perform over the track.
When you say raw, you mean just the beat playing?
Just the beat.
Okay.
Beat.
Okay.
And like sometimes like people perform with their backing vocals and Cam will like touch a knob and they'll get fucked up because like they don't really know their shit. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a crutch.
You got to study your craft, you know?
Yeah, it's a crutch, and Cam will like touch a knob, and they'll get all confused.
Yeah.
They'll be sitting there being like, I'm ripping it, flipping it. I don't know my words anymore.
Fire.
Boy,
It's like,
That's fire.
Did you even prepare? Or did you just send me links?
Right.
You know what else I think is important, and you're kind of like the audio guy now for Bars Over Bars, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm still learning a bit from him.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. As he said, you're super young, you're learning and stuff. But you know, one thing that's important that I feel like a lot of live shows lack, and you can speak to this since you've been to so many, you throw so many. Like sometimes, like I feel like the audio of the venue doesn't do the song or the artist justice. So sometimes figuring that out can be like a
very tough task. Yeah.
It's tough when an artist pulls up with 6 different songs that are mixed by 6 different people at 6 different volumes.
Right.
But I mean, if you have a fantastic, beautiful woman that will help run sound, it's very helpful. It's very helpful.
Behind every powerful man, there's a strong woman.
Yes.
Or so they say.
I am the strong man behind the strong woman.
There you go.
I see what you did there.
Yo, so in terms of your own personal music career, man, is there? I know that we've been talking, and most of the focus on the conversation has been on your shows and what the good work you're doing for the culture. But what about yourself, man? What is there any new music coming out?
I'm working on a project with Nick Lovin. If you may
Nick Lovin?
Nick Lovin. He's one of our other DJs.
That's a dope name.
He does most of the flyers for all the shows. Well, his last name is Amor, so that's love in Spanish.
Oh yeah.
Amor.
So Nick Lovin, but also like
That's
Mick
all
Lovin
right.
from Superbad.
Right.
I like that. That's what I said.
That's a dope play.
He does most of the flyers for all the Bars Over Bars shows. If you guys saw the Dean Alves, Jeff Porter, and the Jeff Porter show, he did that flyer. So he's a very, very, very talented graphic artist as well. But we've been working on a project for a little bit. It's just a matter of me. I just don't have a lot of time to sit down and work on music anymore. And for me, I've had bad experiences sending music out to other people to mix it and then get it back, because at that point I don't really feel like it's mine anymore. I like to have this sort of personal journey with my music, and it does take longer to put out, but I feel like at the end of the day it's kind of just who you're making music for, and I just decided that the music I make is for me. So
that's important.
It's very important, and I'm so glad that other people fuck with it.
Yeah.
But the music I make's for me,
It's for you.
and if you resonate with it, that's fucking awesome.
That's a plus.
That's a plus.
That's a plus. But you know, it's very important because some artists would send their songs out to like the engineer or whatever, and obviously it may be their first time working with your voice, so they don't have the presets for you. They don't have where you like your vocals doubled or your ad libs or whatever. So like when you get it back, it sounds completely different than what you expected.
Yeah.
So it's important. Are you involved at all with the mixing and engineering of your own music?
Oh yeah, I do everything. I
do everything.
I do everything.
Okay.
And then it's a learning process.
It's a tedious.
It's a tedious process.
Tedious
I've been mixing
process.
my own stuff I dropped my first album 6 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I've just been
GarageBand?
I've just been learning. I use Reaper. I don't know if
Reaper.
you guys know Reaper.
I've never heard of
I've
Reaper.
never heard of
I
it.
really fuck with Reaper.
Yeah.
If you guys know Dallas Rose,
Dallas Rose. That sounds familiar.
Is that-
Yeah, that sounds definitely.
get on High Street.
He liked getting high, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Fame Jackson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
That's their
That's it.
crew.
Okay.
The podcast with Dallas Rose and Fame
Yeah.
Jackson. He's like the only producer I know that uses Reaper.
Oh,
So,
wow.
but it's a really cool platform. But like there's a lot of them. Like Loman uses Reason, and I'm like, should I use Reason? He's like,
Reason
don't.
is good for like beats, though.
Loman's like, man, I hate Reason. No, Ableton freaks me out. Fruity Loops freaks me out.
Fruity Loops is crazy complicated.
Crazy.
It looks complicated.
You just have to learn it.
Yeah,
That's what I use.
Yeah.
That's what they all say.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what it all takes. Like, I used to mess around with music, and started learning, obviously, with GarageBand. Like, it was just a free program. And then when I felt like I kind of had the grasp of it, then I went over to Logic. And then when I see all these extra new knobs, like, I'm like, what the hell's a bus? What's a bus? Like, what does this connect to? What does this do? So, yeah, it's interesting, man. But it is cool that you took the chance to learn all that, man. So obviously, big Guru fan. You said he's your favorite.
Oh, he's the greatest hip hop artist that will ever live.
Talk about his gift of gab, right, bro? Like his voice. Like I feel like no homo. If Guru's talking, I'm willing to listen, just because he got that like funk shui almost, man. What are your top 3 favorite songs of Guru, man?
Above the Clouds.
I love that. That instrumental's fire, bro. Shit.
Yeah. Mass Appeal. And then even though I don't consider the one of the best yet album to be a Gangstar album, because it's not, and I can talk about that if you want.
Yeah, of course.
But Family and Loyalty, like that's the one. I cried when I heard it.
Nice.
It was that like it's an emotional song, especially if you've been following the Gangstar journey.
Yeah. I really like Moment of Truth, man. Moment of Truth is a super dope song, touching as well, man. So, man, any artists that you haven't worked with in the New England area that you like to work with, or that you know?
Oh, of course. I got a whole ass list. I mean, I'd love
Mile long list.
I'd
must be CBS at this point. That's what I'm saying. There you go, CBS music.
Look, I'd love to work with Apathy, Edo.
I love Apathy.
I'd love to
bro.
work with Term. There's a lot of people I would love to work with. It's just a matter of big names want big money, and at that point, will they care about the song?
Right.
You know, and I see it time and time again that a lot of big rappers will not just local, but like big rappers will do features and then not even repost the track.
Yeah.
And like that's important.
That's sometimes annoying.
It is very annoying.
Yeah.
Like Millie's, the reason why Millie's is as big as he is because he will literally work with anybody. Just like Term. And the reason why Millie's is bigger than Term is because Millie's makes a lot more music that's appealing to this generation.
Mm-hmm.
But Millie,
Term's been at it for a minute.
he's got more projects than years of his life. Mm-hmm. Like he's like 38 and he's got 42 projects out.
Yeah. He's crazy.
He's
put in that work.
He's a grinder.
Yeah.
But like Millie's will work with anybody, but like he dropped, like Nasty dropped a song with him, and like it's just didn't even repost it. And like Nasty's the man. You guys know Nasty, based out of Quincy?
No, but
no, I mean
He sounds dead familiar.
He used to go by Knockout.
Shit.
Why the
curveball there for me.
But
I feel like I've seen his face somewhere.
But like I see it all the time, and I pay attention. That's the biggest thing you can do in this industry is pay attention. Like I sit back and I learn, and I see it time and time again that the representation on both sides is not always there, especially when you pay for big names to do big things.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes you'll go all out. You're hyped up. You're like, yo, I finally got a big feature or a big name for a song, and then they won't even share it, man.
And that correlates into shows, right? Like we got headliners with 1 million following coming to New England and playing shows at the Jewel and Lowell and Lawrence, but the openers aren't even on the flyer, right?
Yeah, I have noticed that. Because I was gonna say someone has to be opening for them.
The openers aren't on the flyer, and first of all, you're even lucky if the headliner posts the flyer. Period. Mm-hmm. You're even lucky if the headliner posts the flyer, but to have a flyer that a headliner will post that has 500 to 1 million followers with no openers on it, it's crazy.
It's a disjustice.
The traction is lost.
Yeah.
And I mean, of course, the promoter will make a flyer for the single performer, but they won't have a flyer with all the openers on it. And it's just this jumble of this jumble of representation not being there.
You know, I noticed that too with the flyers, especially with so many promoters that there are in just the New England area now. You know what I mean?
And I like with your flyers, you put like everybody, like even the DJs and the vendors.
I don't make personal flyers. Because if I make
if
I make a personal flyer for every artist, they will only post their own.
Yeah.
And that's not their fault.
Yeah.
But it's like I need to make sure You get one flyer. Here's a representation. If you make your own and you don't put you want to make your own, go for it, man.
I used to always think that like the reason why they didn't put the openers was maybe because they were interchangeable, or they maybe were just waiting to fill the slots, which is understandable. But if you already know, you already got them booked and everything, it's kind of messed up that you're not including them.
If you have to remake a flyer, like if you need to add more every time you remake a flyer, and if it even looks different, you've lost traction.
Right.
If you need to pull down information and put it back up, you've lost traction.
Right.
And make it if people drop out, that's one thing, but get the event fully booked, all the information there, and then put the flyer up. That's what we do. And I get messages like, "Yo, any slots left on that show?" Because people think we book like that, and we don't. We don't book like that. I get the show 100% booked. This is the event. This is the announcement.
See you at the next one, maybe.
This is the flyer, and if artists want to make their own flyer, that's dope. Sounds if you don't think mine looks good, whatever. Like, we're still cool. All the information, including the openers, needs to be on your flyer. Everything. Right. I don't care what it looks like. All the information needs to be there, because that's important. Because this show is not about just you; it's about everybody. That's how we've created this community-driven hip hop shows, because the flyers and the shows represent everybody equally. As soon as one person thinks they're bigger than everybody else, that's when
drama.
That's when everyone suffers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, what's next for Bars Over Bars? You guys going outside New England anytime soon?
Oh, we're going to Oregon this month.
Oh, not we're first show on the West Coast?
We're first show on the West Coast. First time on the West Coast.
Congratulations.
I was invited out by the city of Portland, Oregon, to throw 4 shows during their hip hop week.
No shit.
They have a national.
That's awesome, bro.
They have the city of Portland. The city of Portland, Oregon has a sanctioned hip hop week from the 20th to 27th.
That's fire.
I've been invited out to throw 4 shows.
That's awesome.
And this is not like New England, like, yo, fucking Boston, like we're fucking up Portland, Oregon. Like, this is bringing Bars Over Bars to another place and just throwing shows completely free for the artists.
That's awesome.
And are you traveling with local artists, or how is that working?
Just me and my girlfriend are going. And there's actually an artist who moved out to Portland, Oregon from New England. His name is Deej Willie. He moved there about a year ago, but he's going to be crucial in helping us throw these events too.
Nice.
Getting around too, right?
Getting around, yeah. But it's all we're including all people based in the city.
Right.
So these shows are just Bars Over Bars in a different place.
Right.
That's dope, bro. So same concept. You're gonna
same concepts, different city.
So.
Exactly.
Obviously, you're going to the West Coast. It's your first time going to the West Coast. You have one artist already that's based out of New England, relocated out there. But are the artists expected to just take that trip with you guys, or
what do you mean?
Like to perform out there for the 4 shows, or you're doing local artists from?
We're
Portland?
doing local artists. From there.
That's fire.
They're
bro.
gonna. This is not. I would be shot dead if I tried to go to Portland, Oregon, and be all like, oh, New England, yeah. But we are helping Portland, Oregon celebrate Portland hip hop.
And I think that's like probably the most fire thing about it, is because you do that in Portland, you can start doing it everywhere.
We have plans to go down to Atlanta next spring.
That's big.
Where we wanna, but like after we throw these shows, like Deej Willie is gonna keep throwing Bars Over Bars shows in Portland, Oregon. So
the expansion.
So we're just gonna.
That's gonna be the West Coast.
We're gonna
branch.
go. We're gonna go everywhere.
That's everywhere,
and
that's a great way of going about it too.
Pretty soon, this is gonna be coast to coast showcase tour, but it's not gonna be fake pay to play shit where like you sell 100 tickets to the artists. So it's not gonna be like you sell 100 tickets to 20 artists at this venue that fits 50 people.
Right.
These are gonna be shows completely free for the artists, community driven. I want as many events a month as possible in as many different places. Like this, This is the future of hip hop, and it will always, always, always be New England representation. But it's a celebration of hip hop. Period.
I love that,
bro.
Man.
Wow, that's
I fucking love that shit, bro.
I feel like you can't get better than that.
No.
Honestly, bro. Well, man,
yo, I got a
you
question
got me
for
inspired,
you,
fool.
Seriously,
Damn.
yo, I got a question for you. Obviously, you are on show 56.
Yes.
Projected 150 by next summer. Big things, man, going to the West Coast. So you're obviously in touch and rubbing shoulders in the same room with a lot of artists from that are local. I know it may be hard to single somebody out, but what are some of the artists that after working with them, after listening to their music, you're like, yo, this guy has potential to break out?
So whenever I book shows, I try to have like what I consider to be a Bars Over Bars legend on each show. I try to have one new person, and I try to have a couple other people as well. I try to book shows where like 2 people know each other, and then the two other people know each other, and then 2 other people know each other. So it's like they're all friendly faces.
That's smart.
To answer that question, as far as the people I consider to be the Bars Over Bars legends, there's an artist named Jay Faith out of Lowell. Very
I've seen him on a couple
very
of files,
talented
yeah.
dude. There's a female artist named Chemic. She was at the show. I don't know if you guys caught her performance at all. She was at the Lowell show at Surefire. I don't even I hate the female rap shit. Her birthday's tomorrow, actually. She's turning 30.
Hey, shout out her.
Happy birthday.
She's very dope. Chemic hip hop. I don't fuck with like the female rap shit. Like she is a very talented MC. Period. She's very great. There's a young kid named Aristotle Jones.
That's a dope ass
very,
name.
very, very talented. I could go on. There's a super cool dude in Danvers named JFX. Really cool dude. Those are definitely the 4 standouts in my brain right now. But those are.
Expand a little bit on not fucking with the whole female hip hop thing. Is it like the stigma that comes with it, or is it just like, yo, hip hop is hip hop?
I think hip hop is hip hop.
Word.
I just think some people get worried about the specifics, and they try to put you in a box.
Yeah.
Like you fall in a category. Like if you're from New York, like you're a New York rapper and that's it. If you're a female rapper, you're a female rapper and that's it. If you're a white dude, like you're a white rapper and that's it. I believe that hip hop is hip hop, and as long as you respect the craft, as long as you're a cool person, you respect the craft, you can really fit in anywhere. This hip hop is an open book to a fault, but it's an open book where I think that if you respect it, you will be respected as well.
100%. The culture. Shout out to Noble, but the culture will take care of you.
Oh yeah,
of
course.
If you put in the groundwork for it, for sure.
Man, Hero, we gotta thank you, bro.
Of course.
Coming in here, Bars Over Bars in the freaking building. So at the end of kind of every show, we kind of take a minute of gratitude, to shout out anybody, show some love. Anybody you want to show love to today?
Shout out Cam.
Yeah, shout
Hey,
out.
yo.
Shout out Cam, our DJ.
Cam Jams.
We've been talking about Cam for a while. He's just like our little dude, and there's a lot to learn, but he's the man. And if I had somebody, like, I didn't figure my shit out till I was like 21, and I'm still figuring my shit out.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Amen
like
to
if
that.
I had
You're only 23, bro.
But if I had somebody who like molded me at such a young age, I'd be a fucking superstar. I mean, I am a superstar, but I'd be like,
I was gonna say
I'd be
that.
like a
Yeah.
big superstar.
Yeah.
But I just want to give back to the people that I just want to give shit to people that I couldn't.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely.
that's dope. That's dope. Yo, Cam, man, mic's open for you, man. Any shout outs?
Definitely, I want to shout out Aaron Brown. I don't exactly know where he is.
He's based out of Seabrook. He performed at our show last night. Really, really dope kid.
He's really something else. He just dropped an album. He performed some songs off of it last night. The energy was different. He killed his voice while performing.
Hey, that's a receipt
That's a
there,
point
right?
That's
he makes
good.
that every show he plays, if he doesn't kill his voice, he didn't do it right.
Wow.
It's a good way of putting it.
I kind of respect him for that in a sense. It's because, like, if you don't push yourself to your absolute limits, you're not doing it right. And that's kind of his whole thing about it.
Right.
And I don't remember the first show that it was I saw him perform at. I think it might have been when I met this guy at New England
The
Mixtape show.
guy himself.
And we just got to talking, and then from there, it was kind of just a lot of, like, the philosophies and stuff that he has. I've taken that and been like, oh, that's interesting. And then I'll think about it and be like, huh.
It's applicable.
It
Right.
it really is.
Mm-hmm.
I want to shout out this guy for taking me for the weekend.
Thank you.
Hey.
Shout out his amazing wife
Hey.
for
Yo,
Shout out Mad Dog.
I really
keeping up
like.
with us.
One more shout out. I really couldn't like do anything without that girl. Like
Oh yeah, no, she holds
I
it
wouldn't.
together.
I would
absolutely.
be like. I seem well put together, but I'm an actual mess about everything. Like, why don't you just coil the cable and then like it'll go in the bag and it won't be a mess. Like,
Right.
Oh, man.
just coil the cable so it's not annoying next time. And it's like, just
That's
get it
super
next
dope,
time.
man. That's super
Right.
dope. You know what you said about say his name one more time.
Aaron Brown.
Aaron Brown. you know, it reminded me of a quote that Shell Sonnen said. If you guys like UFC, but I forgot which press conference he was on. He's like, man, if you're not willing to push too far, then you're not gonna push far enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So sometimes it takes that. Pete, who you shouting out today, big bro?
Man, first of all, Hero the MC, of course. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you so much for coming down.
Of course.
This has been a long time coming as well. Your DJ, the whole team coming down. I really appreciate that. Man, mostly, like A always used to say, used to shout out himself for working hard. Shout out anybody working hard. We got some hard workers in the building right now as well. Even Mike Sanchez, bro. You know, he's a hard worker too. And Hero the MC, thank you again, bro. Really appreciate it. Mike, who you got, bro?
Yo, Hero the MC, bro. Shout out to you, bro.
Thank you.
As a lover of hip hop, of the culture, of everything that it means, and how it means different things to different people, I really appreciate the effort, the hard work that you're putting to make sure that, you know, it's appreciated. You know what I mean? And to spread awareness on it. So shout out to you, man. Shout out Bars Over Bars. Shout out Cam in the building, bro.
Shout out
up
both
and
of you
coming,
guys.
man. Thank you, bro.
Cam.
I appreciate it. And shout out beautiful lady in the building as well. Yo, plug your stuff.
Yeah,
in,
where can they find you, bro?
So I go by Hero the MC, if you couldn't tell.
Hey,
HeroTheemcee. That's everything on all platforms. MySpace, Snapchat, everything. Whatever
that.
you guys use.
All that. Go
All
get it.
that. All that. Makes it really easy to find it that way. I encourage anybody to try to rework your names to match your names. Because like you got like people with like different Instagram names and their artist name.
it's different.
It's like just try to keep it together.
Mesh it together.
Try to
Yeah.
keep it together.
Right. Yeah.
Because whether you like it or not, you are a brand.
Yep.
Right.
And you need to represent that brand properly on all fronts. That's the biggest piece of advice I can give to any up and coming artist is to whether you like. I don't like it. I fucking hate the fact that
I've thought about it a couple
I
times.
hate that I'm a brand, and whether you like it or not, that's a brand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And-
absolutely.
But
Great
it's
way of putting it.
inconsistency in branding if you
Yeah.
if the your user tag or whatever is different from like what you actually go by.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it definitely makes
It's
a
a great way of
difference.
putting
And it can lead to room for confusion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
So my man, where can they find sorry, you plugged in everything?
For me, yeah.
Perfect. My man, where can they find you, big bro?
As of right now, you can find me on SoundCloud and YouTube at Vicentence. That's going to be VICENTENCED. Kind of long. I'm working on it still.
Yeah, we're
I've got a
working. We're
couple
working on
things
some
up.
branding.
And
Long like the road to success, my brother.
yeah. And as far as DJing goes, I'm available for people. Like I've had artists be like, I love that. I'm going to talk with you. We're going to get it hooked up.
And then nothing happened, right?
Yeah, because it's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, you know, I'm going to South Carolina. I need you to come with me. I can pay you $30. Like, it's gonna be at least triple that in gas.
Right.
And then I have to get it off of work.
Yeah.
I have to figure out, you know, who's gonna be there, what I need, how I'm gonna get there.
Food.
Yeah,
All
and it's
that.
like,
Were you
bro,
sleeping?
come on.
Where you sleeping? Well, once we get the Bars Over Bars bus, this shit's
Right.
all gonna make sense.
Hey,
Once we get the Bars Over Bars party bus, this shit's gonna make sense.
that'd be dope, bro. That'd be dope.
But bro, you can find us say_that_pod on IG. Follow, you know, comment, like all that's good stuff. YouTube, say that with the exclamation point. Obviously, as you see it on the screen, like, comment, subscribe there. REPET617. That's where you can find me on Instagram, bro. I ain't anywhere else.
Hey, you can find me on Instagram, Mike.Sanchez. That's SANCHEZZZ. That's 3Z, so they can stop sleeping.
Yo, but before we get out, you Hero the MC gonna drop some bars over bars in the building. Actually,
course.
but before he does that, y'all better know the drill. Don't say this, say that. Let's get it.
Dark times call for desperate measures. Stuck with the rhymes, I was left with the letters. No direct effects, I mickety mic. Check them if they want to catch hands, then give me a second. Spit flames like a tailpipe on a bare night. With your lady on my nuts while I bear rice. Stale rice, all I ate when I was a mere height. Now I call her Marin. Tell her where we eating tonight. No rewrites on this story for chumps. Sometimes you lose, other times you won. And other times you clutched, and other times you stump. But like a one-hit punch, I'm down down when I bump, we definition. Turning your play into a tragedy. No respect for rappers, not even the majesties. Not even MCs that spit it for vanity. Get your hands up. Welcome to America the free, where they bust down homies for talking in vain. Walking with Kane. Slugs said right to your brain with prime shipping. Dimes hid right where you pissing. Time's different, so a line like the skies envisioned. It goes ashes to ashes and dust to dust. I might leave with a slut, but never in cuffs. It's never enough, like Bobby from the 301 said. Money under the mattress I can spend when I'm dead. Mama gave birth in the belly of the beast, just to unleash a new demon from the east. Be it as it may, the secret had to leak. Speak when spoken to, no freedom of speech. This technique to make you fold like a bad hand, like John Cena can't fold when you bad hand. Like, damn. That's all I got.
Damn. Okay.